Okay, let's make a Blender extension. Extensions, add-ons in earlier versions, are undergoing some changes where you can get extensions through official channels and you can install add-ons locally. They're written in Python and make extensive use of the BPY library to move information and instructions between your Python code and Blender instance. There's a bit of boilerplate code needed for an extension, so if you're making your own, just copy the code from the GitHub link, which I'll have in the description below, and sub in the appropriate info, or fire up your favorite AI coder and tell it you're making a Blender extension. In my experience, ChatGPT 4.0 and 3.5 Turbo handled the boilerplate well. A quirk to note, the highlighted triple quote string, or Python docstring, shown here, will define the tooltip that appears when hovering over the menu item that activates your extension. Now we define what happens when the user executes the extension. In this case, we first define a number of parameters, including the export directory, what export formats will be generated, how files will be named, and what display modes will be captured as images. The extension then exports the scene in all available formats. Note that FBX and GLTF use bpy.ops.export_scene.extension, where the other formats use bpy.ops.wm.filetype_export, and file type varies from the extension for DAE or Collada and ABC for Alembic. The different function calls did trip up ChatGPT 4.0 and 3.5 Turbo, by the way. Then we store which objects were selected, or if none were selected, guess you want images of everything that isn't a camera, light, empty, or armature. Then it adds a temporary camera to the view in case there wasn't one, or to avoid messing up existing cameras. Object selection is important to framing the views because this extension uses the bpy.ops.view3d.camera-to-view-selected function, which sets the view to frame only selected objects. This could be useful if you want images of the important objects, but don't want very wide shots of things like backgrounds, studio type setups, planes, or object collections used for particle instancing. After that setup, a loop runs, once for each mode and for the number of images in each mode. It sets the 3D view to the view perspective of the camera and the shading type to the shading mode currently being looped through. It sets the camera rotation to 90 degrees converted to radians to create a horizontal view, 0, and a Z rotation that divides a full circle by the number of images desired and steps through each of these angles for successive images. Then it sets the camera to view the selected items, updates the viewport, and defines render parameters like resolution. If the mode is wireframe, solid, or material, objects are deselected so they don't have orange outlines in the resulting images, and then the viewport is rendered via bpy.ops.render.opengl. Then the objects are reselected so they'll be ready to have the view snapped to them on the next loop through. If the mode is not wireframe, solid, or material, then it must be the rendered view. In this case, deselection is not required since the image will be produced by the relevant render engine using bpy.ops.render.render. When the work is done, it's time to clean up. If there was an original camera, that's restored, and the temporary camera is removed. Success is also noted in the console. Returning to the last of the boilerplate, the file ends with the functions that add the extension to the menu, in this case under File, Export, and the text here defines what the menu item will say. To install an add-on you've written or downloaded outside of the official extensions ecosystem, you can select Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, use the drop-down at the upper right, and select Install from Disk. Navigate to your file, select it, and click on the Install from Disk button. Your freshly installed extension will generally be ready for immediate use. Good luck on your own extensions. Let me know if this helped or what other kinds of extensions you think would be helpful. And again, pick up the code on GitHub if you want to see an example.